In this example, we're going to solve the equation 2 times cosine of 2 theta minus 1 equals 0, and we're going to be working with angle measure between 0 and 2 pi. So let's go ahead and add 1 to both sides of our equation. This is going to give us 2 cosine of 2 theta equals 1. We can go ahead and divide both sides by 2. And we'll get cosine of 2 theta equals 1/2. Now keep in mind we're solving for our angle measure theta in this case, so let's go ahead and take inverse cosine of both sides. That's going to give us 2 theta equals inverse cosine of 1/2. Let's go ahead and work in degrees first. If we calculate the inverse cosine of 1/2, we're going to get 60 degrees. So we get 2 theta equals 60 degrees. And then we can go ahead and divide both sides here by 2. And we're going to get an angle measure of 30 degrees. Now keep in mind this piece where we have 2 theta equals 60 degrees. This was going to lead us to a solution here that was in quadrant 1. Right. Keep in mind, if we're working with a cosine value and it came out to be a positive 1/2, we also need to account for a solution that is in quadrant 4. So we're going to end up with 2 theta. If we come 60 degrees down from our x-axis here, that's going to give us a 300 degree angle measure. Right, and now we can go ahead and divide both sides here by 2. And this is going to give us theta equals 150 degrees. We can calculate the radian values for these angle measures. 30 degrees is the same thing as pi over 6. And our angle measure here of 150 degrees would be the same thing as 5 pi over 6. Now, as we're looking at this piece of information where we're talking about cosine of 2 theta, keep in mind the period for this function, cosine of 2 theta, is going to have a period of pi. So on that interval from 0 to 2 pi, it's going to complete 2 full cycles, and so it's going to intersect that line of 1/2 not twice but 4 times. So we still need 2 more solutions. The other way we could look at this is to take a look at the interval that we were given up here. Theta had to be between 0 and 2 pi. And keep in mind, we're looking at 2 theta, so think of it as we're going to multiply this piece by 2. And if we do that, we're going to have to multiply each of these pieces by 2. So our 2 theta value should be between 0 and 4 pi. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 60 degree mark that was right here in quadrant 1. If our graph did another full circle, then it would have done a total of 360 degrees plus that 60 degrees. total of 420 degrees. So now I can go ahead and divide both sides here by 2. This is going to give me theta equals 210 degrees. And this is the same thing as 7 pi over 6. And then remember that we had our angle measure here in quadrant 4. Right, we came down 60 degrees, so one of our answers was at 300 degrees. And so if I'm doing my second full circle here, I'm going to go a full circle, that's 360 degrees, plus that 300. So I'm going to have 2 theta equals 660 degrees. And now I can go ahead and divide both sides here by 2. And I'm going to get an angle measure of 330 degrees, which is the same thing as 11 pi over 6. So in this problem, we have a total of 4 solutions. So here's our first one, our angle measure of 30 degrees, an angle measure of 150 degrees, 210 degrees, and our last one here at 330 degrees.